One of the pieces of the podcast we thought would be helpful was to just talk around some of the books that we're currently reading, that others are recommending. And the first is what I think is a really good exegetical commentary on the book of Ephesians by Clinton Arnold. We are going through Ephesians right now as a conversation around Paul's offering of a good life, countering the Socratean idea of the Greco-Roman world and what the good life was as per their perspective. I love reading books that are not particularly Christian or specifically written for the church. This one I really enjoyed. Wienand, the founder of Patagonia, a great entrepreneur, a great ideator, a fighter for the global planet and the well-being of the planet. Let My People Go Surfing, read it a few times. How they arrived at their story I found incredibly compelling. Their values and how they recorded them. A little thing like they began to give a percentage of their profit away, and they realized the profit varies. And so rather than give a percentage of their profit away, they wanted to give a percentage of their turnover away. What a challenge to churches to give a percentage of their total income away. Anyway, great book, loved reading it, loved the adventure, loved the evolving nature of their company. That's good. This one is an old book of mine, The Radical Wesley. And Howard Snyder writes in a very compelling way on the application of radical Wesley in the world in which we live. A mixture of being both biblical and pragmatic. He asks some really weighty questions of the Industrial Revolution. And of course, we're living in a technological revolution. Neither of us knew how to handle our revolutions. And yet Wesley found a way to speak the gospel into the brutality of the Industrial Revolution. Very helpful, very transformative. A young post-grad student suggested I read this. Found it remarkably helpful, The Younger Evangelicals. The idea that this professor, Robert Weber, offers is that evangelicalism has been through three major stages. My sadness is that this was written in 2003, so it is a little out of date. But he tracks every major idea within the evangelical church through the lenses of those three movements or three chapters in the story. And I must say, I found it incredibly helpful understanding the newer lenses that the millennials and Generation Z bring to the table. This one is a newer book that I'm reading at the moment. It's an Australian author, David Bennett. The introduction is by N.T. Wright. He is currently getting his PhD at Oxford. And it's his coming to faith and wrestling with the fact that he is a gay but celibate Christian. I love the raw honesty and authenticity of him coming to terms with who he is, what he is, and what his life of sacrifice will be in following Jesus. I'm challenged, although I'm heterosexual and married, by some of the wrestles that he has had and the conclusions he comes to. I think he is a pioneering voice for a healthy, sane, biblical approach to a very complex social conversation, and well worth the read. Every few weeks, we will update you on some of the books that we think could be helpful, but these are certainly ones that I'm finding really practical, really helpful right now.